So this is actually a conversion problem. So say you were given 4 different quantities. All of these quantities, notice, have different units. Now the question is asking, what volume is the largest? So all of these units are volume. Gallons, quarts, pints, liters. All units of volume. So which one is the largest? Well, if I'm just looking at the numbers, 8.9 is the largest number. But that doesn't mean that it's the largest volume. We can't figure out which one is the largest volume unless all of these have the same units of measure. If they have the same units on them, then we can compare the numbers. So our first step to figure out what volume is the largest is getting all of these in the same units. So that is going to require some conversions. So you need to pick, do we want all of these in gallons? Do we want all of these in quarts? What unit do we want to convert them into? So we could do gallons, quarts, or liters. Pints is kind of a hard one. There's not a lot of conversion factors for that one. So let's do them all in gallons, okay? So if I'm going to compare them, I want them all in gallons. So I'm going to convert to gallons for all of them. Now this first one's already in gallons, so I don't need to do anything with that. Okay, so this one, I want to get into gallons. This one, I'm going to get into gallons. And this one, I'm going to get into gallons. Once they're all in gallons, then I'll compare the number values and see which one is the largest. So for this first one, quarts to gallons, I need a conversion factor going from quarts to gallons. Let's see, 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So my conversion factor, 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So let's do quick conversion, starting with 5 quarts. Using the conversion factor, putting 4 quarts on the bottom, the 1 gallon on the top. Quarts and quarts are canceling. So what is 5 divided by 4? Because remember, that's a division line. I get 1.25. I want just 2 significant figures, 1, 2. So that's going to be 1.3 gallons. Go ahead and erase this. And I have 1.3. So comparing these two, 1.5 gallons is larger than 5 quarts, because 5 quarts is 1.3 gallons. Right? Now that they're in the same units, I can compare the numbers directly. So far, this one's winning, the 1.5 gallons. So let's look at pints now. So we want to go from pints to gallons. Well, I don't have a direct conversion factor going between pints and gallons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to use 2 conversion factors. So my first conversion factor is going to go from pints to quarts. So 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. Okay, so this will get me from pints to quarts. Once I'm in quarts, I can use this one to go to gallons. So it's a 2-stepper. So if you can't find a direct conversion, just try to get into different units and then see stepwise how you can get to where you want to be. Okay, so I'm starting with 8.9 pints. My first conversion factor, I'm going to put the 2 pints on the bottom so that it cancels. The 1 quart on the top. Pints and pints are canceling. So now I'm in quarts, but I don't want to stop there because I want to get all the way to gallons so that I can compare all of these numbers. So this second conversion factor, I'm going to put the 4 quarts on the bottom. So it's just like this one up here. And then the 1 gallon on the top. So that tells me I'm taking 8.9 divided by whatever 2 times 4 is, so 8. And I get 1.1125. I just want 2 sig figs. So 1, 2. Look at the number next to it, that stays a 1, so I get 1.1. So even though this was the largest number at 8.9, it's actually the smallest amount so far, once we have it all in the same units. So let's do this last one. The 1.5 gallons is still winning, because 1.5 gallons is larger than 1.3 gallons, and it's larger than 1.1 gallon. So this is still the winner. Let's do the last one and see. Here we're going from liters to gallons. So we have 1 gallon is equal to 3.78 liters. That's the conversion factor I found. Doing this quickly, we're starting at the 2.4. Using the conversion factor here, we want the liters on the bottom, which will put the 1 gallon on the top. That way, liters and liters cancel. 2.4 divided by 3.78 gives me 0.6349. Looking at 2 sig figs again. So that gives me 0.6, and that's going to stay a 3 since there's a 4 next to it. So let's compare. So once they're all in the same units, the 1.5 gallons is the largest. So if I wanted to put this in order of smallest to largest, this is the smallest. So 2.4 liters is smaller than 8.9 pints, which is smaller than 5 quarts. And the largest is the 1.5 gallons. So it's important to get it in the same units and then compare, because 0.63 is the smallest, and that's equivalent to 2.4 liters. 1.1 gallons is the next smallest, and that's the same as 8.9 pints, so on and so forth. So whenever you see a problem where it's asking what volume is the largest, your first step is to make sure that all the volumes are in the same units and then compare the numbers.